Hi everyone, I'm Mike and welcome to Outdoor Adventuring Gear. And today I'm going to share with you my 5 tips on summer camping. The tips I'm going to give you are not in any particular order. They're just 5 great tips to help you out in the summertime. And these tips apply to everything from backpacking to hiking and to camping. But for the rest of the video, I'm just going to refer to it as camping tips. That way I don't have to keep saying all 3 of those every time I give a tip. Now, the first tip I want to give is hydration. In the summertime, you're going to be not only exerting more energy out in the heat, but you're also going to be hot for a lot more of the time than you are when you're out fall camping or winter camping. Yeah, we winter campers, some of us out there are crazy like me. When you're camping and exerting yourself in these hot temperatures, not only are you going to lose a lot of moisture from sweating and perspiration, but you're also going to lose a lot of nutrients and sodium when you sweat. That's why it's really important that you stay hydrated when you're out there camping, from setting up your tent to gathering firewood in the woods to just adventuring off trail. And staying hydrated during this time when you're out in the woods, it's not very hard. What you're going to do is just drink your normal amounts that you usually drink, and you want to increase that by maybe 25%. Now, a lot of people think water is the best thing for hydration, and water is great for hydration, but it's any kind of liquid that's not going to pull fluid from you. And one of those guys is alcohol. Alcohol does dehydrate you when you're out in the woods or out sweating. So you might want to limit that till all your energy is done for the day. But any other diet drink you might drink, I like to drink diet teas and diet Crystal Light. Those kind of things are what I hydrate with. I usually drink a gallon of fluid a day, but when the summertime gets here, I'm usually drinking about a gallon and a half a day. So usually whatever you drink during your normal period of life, just increase it by 25% when you're out in the woods, because you don't want to get dehydrated. And I know it sounds pretty simple just to stay hydrated. What's the worst thing that'll happen? Well, there's a lot of bad things you can happen. You can get headaches from them. They're no fun. I've had dehydration headaches. You can get cramps, and they usually set in after you've exerted yourself and sweated so long that you haven't refilled your tanks. This will mostly happen a lot of times when you're settling down for the night. You can have wicked Charlie horses and cramps in the night. Another danger of being dehydrated is you can get a lot of foggy mindedness from it, and that can put you in a lot of danger if you're out on the trail backpacking and you're not clear in your mind. So hydration plays a big part when you're out in the woods in the heat, and also being adequately hydrated keeps you from getting that lethargic feeling that you might get sometimes in the heat where you just don't have any energy. And another thing that hydration does is it keeps you regular. Now, you can get severely dehydrated sometimes, and that will give you a lot of bowel distress. And trust me, being out in the woods or out on the trail and you're having issues with your tummy, that is not fun. So yeah, keep drinking. Tip 2, it's one that gets talked about a lot in the summertime, where we're going to talk about protection from the sun on your skin and your eyes. Now, of course, when you're out in the sun, I always recommend a good pair of UV sunglasses. A lot of times you'll see them on me when I'm out camping, either in the wintertime or the summer. But when you're out in that summer heat and that summer sun, exposure is a little different. You can get a little more of that ultraviolet rays. Sorry, I thought I saw something. And we don't have to mention skin, of course. I'm not going to go down the melanoma and cancer route. Of course, we're all aware of that. But one good thing of protecting your skin is you don't want to get a wicked case of sunburn when you're out in the woods. Yes, you can, even in a good wooded area, get sunburn. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people I know. And if you're backpacking and you have to put your backpack on after you've been at a campsite like most of the day, or exposed, or someplace you were getting hydrated by a creek, putting that backpack on when you have sunburn is not fun. And even camping in a state park is not fun if you've got sunburn. Laying down at night, your body's going to probably radiate that heat off of your skin and will give you a miserable night's sleep. Even in an air-conditioned room, you can be in a lot of misery from sunburn. Not a really big tip, but it is a tip. Sometimes we get so excited about getting out on the trail and having that fun and going camping that we forget little things like UV protection. Lately, what I've been getting into a lot of is the UV shirts. I've got some long sleeve shirts that I want to try out this year for summer camping, and I'm looking forward to see how good they perform, not only for sun protection, but also bug protection. Tip number 3 for camping: food. I know we're going to take food with us when we go camping. We're going to enjoy ourselves. When you're out camping, be mindful of some of the food that you take with you. Not only is it going to be bear season in a lot of our country, the U.S., you're also going to have to be diligent on keeping your food away from a lot of those small critters that want to come up when they smell that delicious stuff you've got out in the woods and they want to take a bite of. And I found that when I'm out in the woods enjoying myself either with my family or friends and camping, basically you want good food containers, good food storage, and if you're in any place where it's active bear season, you want to get either a bear bag where you put your stuff up out of a bear's reach and scent, and also they have bear containers at certain parks all across the U.S. It's funny, as most people give most of that attention to bear, especially you should when you're in bear territory. You got to watch out for those little critters too. They will come up and take your food. We're talking raccoons, squirrels, and mice. They're out there. And trust me, they've just been waiting and they're hungry. And you bring in some burgers and some steaks and anything else smells sweet and savory, they're going to be out there. So watch out for the little guys. You don't want them getting used to our food. You want them to be able to have their natural instincts and head out into the environment and get what they need. So make sure your food's stored away, put away, and you don't want any food to spoil. And the other thing is make sure you don't leave any behind. When you go in, take it with you out. I can relate an actual story to this. One time my wife and I were camping in a state park, and we weren't more than a quarter mile from our car, but we forgot something, and we were having hot dogs that night. And we wrapped everything up. We were going to put it away, but we said, let's run through the car real quick and we'll come back. When we came back, not only was our bread gone, our hot dogs were gone, and this was stuff that we accidentally didn't put in the container, and we weren't even going 15 minutes. So that means they were around smelling it and just waiting for that opportunity. Yeah, they're slick. And we think we're the smart ones. Tip number 4. Now we're out in the summertime. We're out in the woods. Like I said, of all these activities, you're going to have to be a little bit more on alert for anything that might be venomous or dangerous in the area you're going to be. Now, of course, on the tip before this, I spoke about bears. Most people, the next thing we'll go to is snakes. Where I'm at, I only have 2 to worry about, and they're not very prevalent in my area. But when you go someplace where your state is populated with these, please remember they're out now when you're out. Also got to remember, tick season's out now. Now, ticks are around all year long. Depends on elevation, mostly, not more than temperature. But ticks are out all year long. And they're going to be more prevalent now that the animals are out and they're riding them to wherever their next destination. But ticks are out. You're going to have to watch for ants. Some people are very allergic to ants. I believe there's a lot of biting ants in our beloved U.S. And I've been bitten by ants many times. Now you're going to have to be aware of that. And then the next one that a lot of people are totally forget about, and I think it's because we become so accustomed to them in our own our suburban environment, bees. You don't know what kind of bee you could run up on, what kind of nest you could run on when you're out in the woods. So please look out for these. Make sure you're prepared for them. If you're allergic, they're out. It's the season. So venomous, whether it be bee, snake, or of course bear is not venomous, but you're going to have to be aware of these. And another thing in this venomous category is the spiders you need to look out for. Now, some people are allergic to all spider bites, but the big 2 that you need to be aware of and see if they're even in your environment, because they will be out, is the dreaded black widow and the feared brown recluse. Black widow is pretty prevalent. You can know where they're going to be, but brown recluse is a mean devil, man. I've heard horror stories about them, but they are really going to be out this season, especially where you're going to be in the woods. Keep an eye out, guys. Keep an eye out, keep an eye out, keep an eye out. And number 5, which I'm going to talk about, is fire. Now, I love a great fire when I'm out camping, and I know a lot of people who are just passionate about going out in summertime. That's their season, and I'm all for it. But when you're out in the summertime camping, you got to realize we're going to be in a lot more dry seasons in the summer. Be aware of what the environment is that you're in. Be aware if this is a dry period where you're going to be at, and be aware if the place you're going to be at maybe has a fire ban at that time where they're not going to allow you to have fire at your campsite. This is something you should check out beforehand. And the big thing, if there is no fire ban and it's been relatively mild, the next thing you want to check on is wind. When you're out at your campsite and you're going to have a fire, although you might be okay as far as dryness and the material around you, wind can carry those embers further than you can realize, guys. And I just want to be really adamant about this. I've canceled a lot of fires when I've been out camping, backpacking, stealthing, just because of the wind. The wind is the biggest deterrent always for me. Even if it's been dry, I can push things aside, stick by that fire, make sure nothing goes anywhere. But if it's windy, I will not have a fire. I know some of this might be preaching to the choir, but it's great for a lot of new people that might be getting involved in the outdoor community with the rest of us. After a while, these things will become second nature. You won't even need to think about them. They'll just be part of what you do. You already know it. And make sure if you have anyone who's interested who may be going out in the outdoors soon, just have them take a look at this video. It could help them out and make sure they have a good time. So there you go, 5 steps. 1, hydration. 2, sun protection. 3, food. 4, venomous. That goes everything in that category you want to put. And 5, fire. Just be aware of those 5 things when you're out this summer season. I want everybody to enjoy themselves. I'm going to do a lot more camping, a lot more adventures coming up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.